So yeah, I've covered "Wish You Were Here" intro, but I'm just going to cover the song, the chord changes. So even though I've done it within the intro series, I think it's about 8, 9 videos or something. I'm going to go over the chord, just the changes for the intro now, so you get the sense. There's only 2 parts to it, so I'm going to strum it and sing the line. So it's boom, da, da, da. This is the intro. Boom, dum, dum, dum. Da, da, da. So E minor G. Down, da, 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 da. Think of the pairs. Da, da, da. E minor G twice. Down, da, 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 da. E minor A. Down, 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 down. Repeat. Down, 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 down. Down, 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 down. Down, down, down. It often repeats that part. I think it repeats that part again. But so, as you're coming out of the E minor A, down, down, down. And then in the verses, now I'm not going to sing the tune, I'm just going to C, D, A minor G, okay? The reason I did the intro is because with the tune in the intro is you'll be using that as a cue to make the change into the verse. So you need to extra little bit of think about the melody line. I'm just doing it as a chord line first of all. So C, D, A minor G. Get used to that as a thing. C, D. Then so you've got 2 like a A minor G. The reason I'm doing that, you'll see why I'm doing this chord line a couple of times. There's a second chord line for the verse, but I want to stay on C, D, A minor G for a minute. Just to reiterate one little simple thing, which is you've got a 4 chord line, C, D, A minor G. In an ideal world, you could just dive straight in and hold those 4 chords in your mind, call for them, and your fingers should go to them. But life isn't perfect. So strategies to help you with that is think of them in pairs. And also, from what I've been doing in the scale work, is think about the fact that there's a start chord. So you've got 2 choices. You've got C, D, A minor, G. If you can remember all 4 chords, your start chord is C, and you just flow through them. Or you can think of them in pairs: C, D, A minor, G. Then you've got a start chord C, move to D. Then you start chord A minor to D, G, G. It's a little bit like you could break a more complicated phrase melodically down into complicated line into shorter phrases. So you break the chord line down into shorter phrases, but it's still your responsibility when you go C, D. As you say C, D, you've got to know your next start chord is A minor, and hopefully to the G. What I like this particular thing for the purposes of what I've been doing across multiple songs in the classes is the next line reverses the C, D to D, C in the opposite, but then followed by A minor, G, the same chord pair. So you end up with this for the verse. You end up with C, C, D, A minor, G, then D, C, A minor, G. And that's a bit of it's like, just because it's so only slightly different, that it's a subtle difference which can mess with you. You just need to, which means you have to raise your concentration levels, that's all. And I would spend time practicing just the chord lines, so just so that you get used to C, D, so you can memorise those 4 chords, hold them in your memory, and then when you get to your second line, you've reversed the chords in that pair, and then you repeat that pair. You should be able to do that, and I think even though the lyric and the tune actually may help, I'd rather you practice that as a chord line. So we'll leave that there. so you can practice that as chord line.